If tariffs go up, will your portfolio go down? In today's video, we are going to talk about some questions that I've been getting about how tariffs impact portfolios in your investments. We're going to look back at history because we do have some recent relevant history, and while we can't see the future, we can look at history and say, what does this tell us may or may not happen? So let's jump in. This chart here looks from 2017 till the end of 2020. So we have about 4 years worth of data, and you're going to see 3 lines, a green line, a blue line, and a gray line representing the portfolio performance for different parts of the world. We're going to dig into which parts of the world those were. But essentially in 2017, newly elected Donald Trump started looking at enforcing tariffs. In 2018, this continued all the way 2019 and through 2020. So we had 4 years of the United States and China having tariff issues or having tariffs imposed at different levels. Now, how exactly did that impact your portfolio or the portfolio if you were invested? Well, first, let's look at this gray line here. So what does this gray line represent? Now, this is 4 years, the growth of your dollar. If during this talk or during all these tariffs, you would have invested $1, how much money would this have grown to? This would have grown to $1.41, so up around 40% if you were invested in developed ex-US. So what does that mean? It means all the developed countries around the world minus the United States. So it does not include the United States performance. Okay, so the rest of the developed world minus the United States, you were up about 40% during that time. Well, what is the blue line? Well, the blue line going up, your dollar would have turned to $1.81. So that's an 80% gain over that time period. What does that represent? That represents the United States. And so the United States did better than the rest of the developed world during all this tariff talk. So what's the green line? Well, you had $1 that grew to $2. And that $2 represents if you would have invested in the Chinese stock market. So ironically enough, through the 2017 and 2020 into 2020 time period, when there was all these tariffs between the US and China, US and Chinese stock markets did better than the rest of the world. And so what does this mean for long-term investors? Does this mean that we should look at tariffs and all the conversations in the media around tariffs as good news for your portfolio? No, that's not what it means. But what it does mean is that just because there will be tariffs imposed or potentially imposed, it does not mean that it's going to have an adverse impact on your portfolio and to focus on your long-term plan. I hope you found this helpful, and as always, thanks for investing your time with the Personal CFO.